No, we just started. Yeah, no problem. Hey, everybody, thank you for being here with us tonight. It is December 9th, 2024. This is a meeting of the Mayor and Council of Princeton, New Jersey. And we'll start off with the meeting statement, please. Oh, wait a minute. No clerk. I'll read the statement. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, including the time, date, and location of the meeting. In addition, the agenda and all related materials were posted electronically and made available to the public on Princeton's meeting portal in advance of the meeting. I'll also do the land acknowledgement. We gather today on the land of the Lenni Lenape. As members of the Princeton community, we aspire to show appreciation, respect, and concern for all peoples and our environment. We honor the Lenape and other indigenous caretakers of these lands, waters, the elders who lived here before, the indigenous today, and the generations to come. All right, next we're going to do roll call. Councilwoman Lambros?
Here.
Councilwoman Niedergang?
You're really an amateur at this.
I'm doing it all.
Here.
Thank you. Councilman Cohen?
Here.
Councilwoman, where am I going? Sachs. Sorry, I'm going this way.
Do we need to introduce ourselves?
No,
Here.
thank you. Councilwoman Fraga?
Here.
Councilman Newland?
Here.
Mayor Frida? I'm here. All right, so what we're going to do is, in 5 seconds, I'm going to ask you all to stand. The honor guard is going to come in, and they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we would all stand, that would be very nice. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. Yeah, so the chief's going to come forward and lead us in the promotion.
Good evening, Mayor, members of Council, Administrator Hosdovic, family, friends, and colleagues. Thank you for being with us tonight on this special occasion. This evening, we celebrate 6 outstanding officers as they enter a pivotal stage in their careers, a culmination of years of unwavering dedication and hard work for our department and for the community. Their journey to this point reflects their perseverance, commitment, and professionalism that define the men and women of our department. Each of these officers has carried their place here tonight, and I cannot be more proud to honor them. While we celebrate their accomplishments, we must also recognize the vital role their families and friends play. To the loved ones who have supported these officers along the way, your encouragement has been instrumental in their process. I understand the sacrifices you've made and the challenges you've faced. Please know that your support makes an incredible difference, and we are deeply grateful for all you have done to help them achieve this milestone. I'm confident that these 6 officers are fully prepared to embrace the new challenges and responsibilities that come with their promotions. They've consistently shown that they're capable, dependable, and ready to rise to any occasion. Their dedication inspires confidence, not just within our department, but also within the community. Congratulations to all of tonight's honorees. I wish you every success in your new roles. Thank you. The first officer to be promoted tonight is Sergeant Craig Humble. Craig graduated from King's College in 2004 with a dual major in criminal justice and sociology. Craig graduated from the 97th class of Burlington County Police Academy as an alternate route candidate. Craig began his career in law enforcement in 2009 with the Medford Township Police Department and served there until 2011. In 2012, Craig was hired by the Princeton Township Police Department and served within the patrol division for several years. In 2015, he was assigned to the newly formed Community Impact Unit and served there for several months. In 2018, Craig was assigned to the Mercer County Prosecutor's Special Investigation Unit as a member of the Mercer County Narcotics Task Force. In this capacity, he investigated and apprehended numerous high-level narcotic traffickers, homicide suspects, and sexual offenders at both the county and state level. In 2020, Craig was promoted to the rank of corporal and served within the patrol division until his promotion to sergeant in November 2024. Craig is married to his wife, Sarah Humble, and together they proudly share 3 children, James, Vivian, and Everett. Sergeant Humble, please come up to be sworn in. And bring your family up.
Do you want? Okay. You could repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Craig Humble,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in the state
in the United States and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of sergeant
of the office of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next up is Sergeant Eric Dawson. Sergeant Dawson graduated from the Burlington County Police Academy in 2004 and began his law enforcement career with the Burlington County Sheriff's Department. In 2007, Sergeant Dawson was hired by the Mansfield Township Police Department, where he remained employed there for over 8 years. In 2015, Sergeant Dawson was hired by the Princeton Police Department and has served in the capacity of a patrol officer, detective, and most recently as corporal for the past 2 years. Sergeant Dawson has previously served as a field training officer, officer in charge, and is a member of the agency's Serious Collision Response Team. Sergeant Dawson attended the Mercer County Community College, where he obtained an associate's degree in criminal justice in 2003. During his 20 years of police service, Sergeant Dawson has received the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Law Enforcement Distinguished Service Award, Patrolman Billy D. Ellis Honorable Service Award on 3 separate occasions, and the Walter E. Harris Meritorious Service Award. Sergeant Dawson, please come forward with your family to be sworn in.
I state your name.
I, Eric Dawson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in the state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of sergeant
of the office of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next up is Sergeant Darwin Kiefer. Sergeant Kiefer is a third-generation police officer who joined the Princeton Borough Police Department in August of 2010 after graduating from the Mercer County Police Academy's alternate route program. Sergeant Kiefer has a bachelor's degree in history from Rutgers University, as well as a master's degree in human resources and training development from Seton Hall University. Sergeant Kiefer has served both in the Patrol Bureau and Detective Bureau during his 14 years with the Princeton Police Department. Sergeant Kiefer was promoted to the rank of corporal in the Patrol Bureau in 2022. Sergeant Kiefer is a field training officer, firearms instructor, instructor at the Mercer County Police Academy, member of the Honor Guard Unit, and former president of PBA Local 130. Sergeant Kiefer is married to his wife, Stephanie, and has 3 children, Darwin, Cora, and Brooke. Sergeant Kiefer, please come up.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Darwin Kiefer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in the state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of sergeant
of the office of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey.
Next to be sworn in is Corporal Stephen Lattin. Corporal Lattin began his law enforcement career with the Princeton Township Police Department in January of 2010. He served in the Patrol Bureau until being assigned to the Safe Neighborhood Bureau in January of 2020. In March of 2020, Corporal Lattin became the department's second canine handler upon his graduation from the New Jersey State Police Canine Academy. He and his partner, Canine Ellie, are members of the New Jersey Detect and Render Safe Task Force. In 2023, Corporal Lattin was assigned to the Traffic Safety Bureau. He holds a bachelor's degree in sociology from Duquesne University. Corporal Lattin resides in Chesterfield, New Jersey with his wife, Jacqueline, his 2 daughters, Aubrey and Kenley, and their son, Trey. Upon his promotion, Corporal Lattin will serve in the Patrol Bureau. Corporal Lattin, please come on up.
Sorry, I didn't see. And I'm so sorry.
Now her glasses.
I could read it.
Okay. Well, repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Stephen Lattin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
and under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties of the office of corporal
all duties of the office of corporal
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Next to be sworn in is Corporal Deshaun Cribb. Corporal Cribb began his law enforcement career with the Princeton Police Department in September 2014. He served the first 10 years, of his career in the Patrol Bureau and was assigned to the Detective Bureau in 2024. During his time in the Patrol Bureau, Corporal Cribb served as a field training officer, officer in charge. In 2020, he was also assigned to the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office Special Investigation Unit. Corporal Cribb is trained as a community law enforcement affirmative relations and crisis de-escalation trainer. He holds his bachelor's degree in sociology with a concentration in justice systems from Montclair State University and a master's degree in human resource training and developing education, administration, and supervision from Seton Hall University. Corporal Cribb resides in Riverside, New Jersey with his wife Jasmine and his son Jackson. Upon his promotion, Corporal Cribb will serve as a supervisor officer for the Princeton Police Department. Corporal Cribb, come on up to be sworn in.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Deshaun Cribb,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in the state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties of the office of corporal
all duties of the office of corporal
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Okay. Next to be sworn in is Corporal Dan Enstrom. Dan Enstrom's law enforcement career began with an educational foundation, earning a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Justice Studies from Montclair State University in 2004. He continued his professional pursuit in May 2005 by graduating from the Ocean County Police Academy, becoming a certified New Jersey police officer. Following his graduation, he first served with the Beach Haven Police Department as a Class II Special Police Officer, gaining initial law enforcement experience before being hired in a full-time capacity with the Mansfield Police Department in August of 2005. In January of 2008, Dan was assigned to the Detective Bureau. While in that position, he was honored as the department's Officer of the Year in 2011. In addition to his duties as detective, Dan was also assigned to be the department's juvenile officer, bias crime officer, alcoholic beverage control officer, public information officer, member of the Fatal Crash Reconstruction Unit, crisis negotiator, Megan's Law officer, and liaison to the Burlington County Domestic Violence Response Team. In February of 2015, Dan returned to the Patrol Division when he was promoted to the rank of sergeant. In November of 2015, Dan was hired by the Princeton Police Department, initially serving as a patrolman. In 2017, he received the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Award in recognition of his commitment to the community safety and DWI enforcement. Dan was assigned to the Detective Bureau in January of 2022, a position he currently holds. In addition to his detective responsibilities, he serves as a field training officer, firearms instructor, Megan's Law liaison, and is also a member of the department's Serious Collision Response Team. Dan was awarded the Walter E. Harris Meritorious Service Award in 2023 for an incident that occurred in 2019. Dan resides in Hamilton, New Jersey with his wife Nicole and her 3 children, son Jackson and daughter Sophia and Isabella. Corporal Enstrom, you want to come up?
Repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Daniel Enstrom,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of corporal
all the duties of the office of corporal
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Nothing back over there.
Thank you to all the officers that were in attendance. Thank you to all the families. You really don't need to stay for the rest of the meeting, so feel free to cut out. Hey, Rob, do me a favor and shut those doors as... I figured there might be a little noise out in the hall for a little bit. Oh, well, easier said than done. Okay, next up we have a proclamation, and Eve will take us through the proclamation.
I'm just going to give it another few seconds to see if we can wrestle that. There we go.
There they go.
Proclamation, Office of the Mayor, Municipality of Princeton. A proclamation honoring Polly Burlingham for her community service. Whereas Polly Burlingham has been an invaluable asset to the municipality of Princeton for many years. And whereas, after completing extensive training in horticulture through the Rutgers Master Gardeners Program of Mercer County, Polly earned the title of Master Gardener in 2001. And whereas, Polly has dedicated countless hours and lent her creativity and expertise as a master gardener to beautifying our town. And whereas, Polly's passion for gardening is evident in her meticulous care of the flower planters that adorn Nassau Street, Witherspoon Street, Barbara Boggs Sigmund Park, Heinz Plaza, the municipal parking lot, and throughout Princeton. And whereas, Polly's efforts have brought joy to residents and visitors alike. And whereas Polly's artistic talents extend beyond gardening, as she enjoys knitting, quilting, and pottery. And whereas Polly's love for nature and dedication to Princeton has beautified our community and inspired a legacy of community service. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Eve Niedergang, speaking on behalf of the mayor, Mark Frieda of Princeton, extend the municipality's humble expression of appreciation and sincerest gratitude to Polly Burlingham. Let us all be inspired by Polly's dedication and creativity and strive to make Princeton an even more beautiful place to live.
Polly, come on up there in the center somewhere. We're going to give you the proclamation. And
Can I thank Public Works for all their hard work? I think you can all hear me. As I've been told, my voice carries. I want to thank Public Works, especially Dan Van Meter, who has been a champion of making sure that all those baskets and plants get watered, because as I told Bob Brusheye 20 years ago when I was going to start this project, if they don't get watered, then don't waste your money. And it's become a 7-day-a-week project. So thanks to the Public Works, we have had beautiful planters. And thanks for this. Hello, Mayor. You're the only one I know now on council. Yes, right there. Okay.
Yes. Okay, next up, we have council announcements and/or reports. Any council members that have any reports or announcements at this time?
See my, there's a delay. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Go ahead, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. So I wanted to report that although a few council meetings ago, we voted to remove the kiosks that are on Nassau Street as part of the Nassau Streetscape program. We are working, engineering's working, the Infrastructure and Operations Department along with the Communications Director on replacing them. So there will be something there that will replace them. Because it's the end of the year, it's just really busy. So we're looking at January, February timeframe to bring it back to work session. So just so the community and colleagues know that it's being looked at. So there's some really good options out there. So just wait, please, and we'll get there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Leighton?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to say to Ms. Burlingham, you know, probably on behalf of not only myself, but for many people who live in Princeton, who visit Princeton, who appreciate you for the way Princeton presents itself, and it feels when you come here, who don't even know who you are. So it is beautiful to put a face to the face of Princeton. Thank you for all that you do and all you have done on behalf of just so many people who really appreciate how Princeton is, and thank you for all you do. All right. Thanks, Mayor. I just want to make a quick statement. My colleague David and I have learned a lot, and we've been looking at a lot over the past year with regard to a study that was done and revealed at the beginning of this year by the state of New Jersey. And I just want to make a quick statement. As we approach 2025, I want to put us all on notice that we must take a hard look at how we spend the significant sums of taxpayer money entrusted to this municipality. And this, again, is based on a disparities report, a procurement disparities report that was done by the state of New Jersey. According to New Jersey's 2024 disparity study, less than 5% of billions in state procurement spending goes to minority and women-owned businesses. That's right, less than 5%, despite minority women and business enterprises make up a much larger portion of the marketplace. This is not just a problem of disparity, it is a violation of fairness and equity. This coming year, I want us as a collective body to commit to being accountable to equitable spending. Because as I understand it, it is the law. Procurement practices must reflect our values of diversity and inclusion. And we already know the problems exist. Now it's time for Princeton to lead by example. We are not making decisions tonight, but I am signaling that we need to set the stage in 2025 for policies, practices, and transparency that ensure our spending aligns with the principles we claim to uphold. Let's be clear, addressing these issues is not just about compliance. It's about doing the right thing for Princeton, for its residents, and for the local businesses that keep this town thriving. Thank you.
Thank you, Leighton. Any other council announcements or reports? Okay, why don't we go to the police chief's report for October 2024. Chief?
Good evening again. I just wanted to say, too, thank you for taking time out of your meeting tonight. I know that was long. We had 6 officers getting promoted, but it means a lot for us to do these ceremonies, so thank you. October, just want to highlight a couple things from the report. October is a busy month for us. It's the first full month of school, so our Safe Neighbor Bureau is doing a lot of presentations in the schools with the children, so we're busy with that. And also, Halloween is a busy time for us. So this year we had another successful trunk or treat event here at the municipal building, and Halloween night itself was another successful night. We didn't have any incidents, and with the amount of people that we had in town, that's a pretty successful night. So just wanted to highlight those 2 things. Thank you.
Okay. Eve?
Thanks for that, Chief Tash. I always enjoy looking at the police report. I just want to have you talk a little bit about something. This is not, I think, an unusual statistic, but on page 7 of the report, something I've kind of been keeping my eye on is emotionally disturbed person, the number of incidents. And I think this month, October, is a good example. If you look back to 2019, you see there were 5 incidents, and October 2024, if I'm sorry, I got to scroll across here and make sure I'm getting the right number, we have 20. And this is not an unusual this is pretty consistent. And I would just like to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about, because I know the department puts so much stress on how the officers deal with these situations. And I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up about this, but if you could just talk a little bit about what the philosophies are and the guiding, principles behind how the police officers are dealing with this more and more frequent occurrence. I think be very illuminating for, both council and for people in the audience.
Sure. So the first thing, policing has changed so much in my career, and one of the things that's really changed a lot in the last maybe 5 years is dealing with people who were, in a state of emotional distress. So there's a lot of mandatory training that our officers go through that helps us deal with people who are experiencing this. We actually have additional training that we mandate our department to do in dealing with emotionally disturbed persons. And the other thing is our network of organizations that we make referrals to when dealing with people going through a tough time has really grown lately. We have some fantastic partners, and we encourage people that if they are experiencing an issue, that they could always call the police department, and we can direct them and help them get the help that they may need.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay. Next up, Isaac Kremer from the Executive Director of Experience Princeton.
Good evening, Your Honor. As I do every month, 4 things that we did last month, 4 things that are coming up this month, and one big item you should all know about. So to lead off, we were really happy to have the ribbon cutting for Alfalfa last week, a new health-conscious restaurant at 140 Nassau Street, and thank you to everyone who joined us for that. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to Princeton. Secondly, our Shop Local to Win campaign wrapped up yesterday. We've already awarded $5,000. Tomorrow we'll do the final draw of the $1,000 weekly draw and the $1,500 grand prize. I can tell you it's been a lot of fun going to the stores and also interacting with the customers, and especially this time of year to see families or longtime Princeton residents or people as far away from Ridgewood winning the contest. To a person, everyone's been really excited and happy about that. We've touched over 120 businesses with that promotion too, which is our biggest yet. Next up, we prepared an info sheet on how to keep Princeton clean and welcoming, especially with an eye towards sidewalks and garbage. And it'll be distributed in the coming weeks, along with an infographic on organic waste hauling, which we want to try to encourage, seeing more of that, to divert from landfills, of course. And last but not least, our volunteer recognition event on November 21st in Morven was very well attended. It was a really good opportunity to recognize the volunteers who have been part of Experience Princeton from the start. So hopefully we'll have more events like that in the future and more recognitions to give out. Coming up this month, we have a booth at the International Council of Shopping Centers Deal Show at the Javits from December 11th to 12th. And I'm looking forward to being joined there by Michelle, Councilmember Perron-Lambros. Also, our partnership agreements are being finalized with our first two organizations. Once we have those in place, it'll be a good model or template for others to follow. We're looking forward to the spring already and expanding plantings. We have an eye towards Witherspoon Street to help complement some of the wonderful streetscape work that's been done there. And of course, we'll bring that forward well in advance of the install. Last but not least, we're starting preparations for Restaurant Week in March. And I'm pleased to report we've already secured our first sponsor with the Princeton Federal Credit Union. Finally, I don't know if it's news to anyone, but I'll say it anyways. Our big item is that Princeton is one of 4 communities that's been selected into the Main Street, New Jersey program. That brings the total number of communities up to 29. The only other one in Mercer County is Lawrenceville. The 3 other new towns joining, along with Princeton, are Plainfield, Milburn, and Haddonfield. And it's actually been really nice to get notes from the leaders in those towns recognizing our accomplishment here. But I'd just like to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who assisted in securing the designation and really standing up for Princeton and making the case that this is an important designation for us. It's going to help us secure additional technical assistance and hopefully some funding to help with important initiatives in the years ahead. So thank you for that. Last but not least, this wasn't on my agenda, but it occurred to me this will be the last meeting with outgoing council member. Could I ask just a point of personal privilege? Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Niedergang for just being such a positive pro-Princeton voice. You attended almost every one of our meetups. We've held 25 of them over the last 2 years, and it's just been a constant pleasure to interact with you. Your leadership in the days and in the community really is your legacy, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Isaac. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Did anybody have any questions for Isaac?
To make it come back, but can you just share with us, because we're in the throes of the holiday season, do you have a feel for how it's going for the businesses in town?
Yeah, so I think we're tracking with national trends. There's a projected 5% increase in sales, and we can see it in our, especially the weekend visitation, which is peaking. So, but remember, about 40% of the sales are occurring right now. So anything that impacts a business might disrupt a business. We want to be ultra sensitive to that because it's really make or break time for them. So, but actually tomorrow I'll be attending the Placer AI pre-conference in New York before ICSC. And for folks who are unaware, this does place-based analytics and gives you very detailed information about who's shopping, how many visits you get in real time. So that's certainly a question I'll be asking them, and we'll work in the future maybe getting a Placer.ai license to be able to give you more detailed in real-time data about who's visiting and where they're shopping.
Thanks. Isaac, one more thing,
Yep.
sorry. Can you just explain for everyone what ICSC is and
Sorry.
where we're going? Thank you.
It's just in the trade, you kind of know it, but outside, it's just an acronym. So the International Council of Shopping Centers is one of the leading gatherings of commercial real estate professionals in the U.S. The only bigger show is in Las Vegas, held by the same organization. So as I mentioned, I believe in my prior report last month, Princeton is the only downtown, maybe the only municipality to have a booth at ICSC. We'll have a 10 by 20 foot booth. Sounds huge, but it's actually tiny for there. And we'll have an opportunity across the 2 days on the 11th and 12th to really present Princeton in the most favorable light to the other attendees that are going to be there. And I'm really pleased, by the way, that several of our partners, including Edens, have booths very near to us, and we're just across the road from the networking area. So hopefully we'll get a lot of spillover traffic. And the last thing I'll add to that is I worked with some local businesses, and we're going to have some Princeton-themed swag and prizes to give away to people as we interact with them over the 2 days. We're the only booth that's going to have an Einstein plushie, thanks to the public library. So, but don't tell anyone about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Isaac. Okay, I think we have Trishka, we have an update on our deer management saga?
Yes, not necessarily as positive an update as I had hoped to be able to present. Couple of developments. So just to catch people up, we submitted our application back in July, which is several months ahead of schedule. It included both a lethal component, as you have every year, and non-lethal, as you have tried to do for the last 2 years. We provided a ton of information on the non-lethal. In October, we heard back from the Division of Fish and Wildlife in response to the non-lethal. I think they had about a 2.5 single-spaced, 2.5 pages single-spaced of requests for clarification. So we submitted our response in early November, gave them a ton of information, publications. It was a massive submission. We heard back from them, I believe it was last week, maybe the week before, requests that we consider bifurcating the application because they continued to have concerns about the non-lethal. They needed further information and clarification. They didn't explain what. And they were concerned, they were ready to present the lethal component at next week's meeting of the Fish and Game Council. They didn't want their concerns with the non-lethal portion to hold things up, so would we consider bifurcating? I said, yes, we would, because quite honestly, I didn't want to tank the entire program, and I also made it very clear in my response, but please get us your comments fast, because we'd really like to have both components presented in December. The response was that there must be some confusion on my end, that they were asking just to present the lethal in December and then the non-lethal when their concerns were addressed. In other words, whenever they get around to it. So I responded that there really was no confusion whatsoever on our end. We were clear on that, and we were fine with them presenting the lethal, but could they please get back to us ASAP with their concerns about the non-lethal so we could actually address them in time for next week's Fish and Game Council meeting. So we received those concerns on Friday afternoon. I think this time they got them down to 2 pages or 1.5 pages, single-spaced. A lot of it was dissatisfaction that we hadn't presented enough information in our prior response, including just, for example, they want us to document the efforts that we have made in the areas where you want to use the sterilization to obtain permission for sharpshooting. So we had given them some general information about the efforts we've made over the years in general to find sites. They want very specific documentation. I think in so many words, how many doors and which doors have we knocked on? Is it that we've been denied permission only for sharpshooting, for netting, is it for darting and euthanasia? So that's one question. They have a lot of concerns about the mortality rate of the deer that are sterilized. They want a lot more information to justify why we cannot use lethal means in those areas. They are also asking questions about why typically you stop the cull after 2 weeks. And I mean, from the get-go, white buffalo basically is here for 2 weeks. And the answer that we've provided is that after 2 weeks, there is a very clear diminishing rate of return, and white buffalo, to their credit, although they could charge you to sit in a tree stand for 6 hours on end shooting at nothing, they prefer not to do that. And so they tend to leave after 2 weeks. So we gave them that explanation. The response is they would like to know why we cannot have white buffalo do the 2 weeks, go away for a while, come back and do some more. They also want to know, by the way, how much it's costing every year. Now, I think for your taxpayers, that's a very legitimate question. For the state that does not provide you with a dime, not one dime to take care of this, I'm not sure that's a relevant question on their part. In prior years when they've asked, I've told them it was none of their business. That's between you guys and your taxpayers. I think this time I might actually just give them the numbers. So I think I'll find other ways to annoy them. So where we are at the end of the day is I think they have made it pretty blatant that they're going to continue to stonewall. And, you know, I'm sparing you some of the other stuff. You know, they're fighting us on whether the dart guns are in fact a firearm, which could effectively bring this to a halt. I'm working with Chief Tash on that. There's some other stuff too that they're throwing at us, but there's been enough in the back and forth, candidly, and the fact that they waited until October to get us their initial response. For 3 years, we've been asking to meet with them in the summer, with representatives of White Buffalo, with representatives of Princeton, to try to really address all of their concerns so that we don't have to engage in the back and forth. They've never so much as acknowledged the request to sit and meet. And meanwhile, you've got lots of other parts of the country that have no trouble whatsoever with incorporating non-lethal as part of deer management. And we've given them the examples, we've given them the information. White Buffalo has published extensively on this. We've given them all, and these are publications in peer-reviewed scientific journals. This is not self-publication. We've given them all of this. We've given them other publications. I think what's really disappointing is that, as you know, New Jersey likes to be at the forefront on a lot of issues. This is a state that tends to lead. And back when I was in law school, a lot of the cases that we studied in novel areas of law came out of this state in so many arenas. And honestly, South Carolina gave White Buffalo, it took them 4 days to give White Buffalo a permit to do sterilization. Took a little bit longer in Euclid, Ohio, but they worked with White Buffalo, they worked with the state lawyers to make sure that they could interpret their regulations, and they worked cooperatively with the community to get this done. I wish I could tell you that you had a Division of Fish and Wildlife that was willing to work in the same spirit, and I can't. I think they are taking the exact opposite tack. And while I had feared this would happen, I am still very disappointed. Really disappointed. You guys spend so much money on this program, all paid for by your constituents who have asked for you to include non-lethal. As a council, you want to include non-lethal. White Buffalo wants to include non-lethal. They want to as scientists, they want to as people who are committed to deer management, because they want you to be able to use every tool that's available in your toolbox. And you are being confronted with a division that, for reasons I cannot understand, seems dead set against it. And the only thing I can tell you is the more, any of you who know me, it's not good to really push back against me because I'm very stubborn. And I'm getting very angry. And so I'm not prepared to give up. We're going to come back to them with the information that they are looking for, as much of it as we can provide, and what we can't provide, I think we'll have a very good explanation for why what they're asking for is ridiculous. But in the meantime, I also think I'm speaking about this publicly because I think it's very important for your residents to understand that this is not a lack of commitment on the part of this body. This is like you are hitting your head against a brick wall when it comes to this agency. And I'm happy to keep bashing my head into that brick wall, but I think people have the right to know where the problem lies. So, as I said, I wish I had better news. Maybe on the 19th I can come back to you with something slightly more encouraging, or maybe in January. I will continue to hold out hope. And in the meantime, let's just hold their feet to the fire, because I want to keep pushing and just make it really apparent where the problem lies. Anyway, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. To be continued. Okay, next up, approval of minutes. We have regular meeting minutes from October 28th, 2024. In its closed session from November 6th, 2024. Which Eve is going to move those. Thank you. Michelle's got the second. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just need to abstain from the 28th. I was not present.
Okay. All right. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor with David's abstention for the 28th, please say aye, wave a hand, do something so I know you're saying yes.
Aye.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. Next up, public comments for items not on the agenda. If you want to talk about something that's not on the agenda, we're going to start here in the room, and Mr. William Shields is coming up to talk to us first. He knows he's got 3 minutes, and thanks for being here, Willie.
My name is William Shields. I live at 1558 Line Road in West Windsor. I'm here to just make a little statement about the Chestnut Street Firehouse. The Chestnut Street Firehouse is a 2-story structure located at 13 Chestnut Street. It has a basement, a main floor and kitchen, an assembly area, and a rig room. The upstairs contains large meeting room and 2 offices, all with parquet floors and a half bath. The meeting room walls are lined with Curry and Ives prints and an assortment of fire department memorabilia. Currently, the rig room has the fire department equipment stored and is home to 2 of the active fire police vehicles. The kitchen area has been recently used for the Mercer County Senior Lunch Program. The building over the years have been maintained by the municipality of Princeton with routine repairs and some major upgrades that include air conditioning and a fire alarm pull station, sensor, and ADA-approved emergency notification. The rig room floor has additional reinforcements to allow for vehicles such as cars, pickups, trailers, and smaller utility pieces to utilize this space. The Chestnut Street Firehouse is home to Princeton Engine Company No. 1, Princeton Fire Police, and the New Jersey Firemen Association Princeton chapter. It is also used regularly as a polling site for elections. It has been the operations center for the Princeton Fire Police during various functions, including Community Day, the High Top Marathon, PU reunions, the Palmer Square tree lighting, and various storms or public demonstrations that require a coordination or staging site. Any decision that is made by the council regarding the future of the Chestnut Street Firehouse should consider information from all relevant areas. There appear to be a limited participation from the rank and file of the Princeton Fire Department in obtaining input towards possible solutions. In addressing the need for a larger or better functioning fire station, Princeton should not rush to quick fixes that would be irreversible and could ultimately increase costs to the town and taxpayers. As a member of the Princeton Fire Department with nearly 55 years and president of Engine Company No. 1 for over 20 and past chief of the Princeton Department, I suggest a committee be established to evaluate use options of the Chestnut Street Firehouse. The group should be a blend of Princeton community, volunteer and paid firefighters, past fire officers, and the presidents of the Princeton 3 fire companies. In an effort to address the need for such space and storage at the Witherspoon Street headquarters, the committee should look towards Chestnut Street Firehouse for possible uses. The options are many and would help in providing more time to obtain verifiable data for an educated decision. The Chestnut Street Firehouse has flex space capabilities that will allow the fire department to provide better service, save taxpayers money, preserve artifacts of the fire department at a central location, and retain the sought-after neighborhood lifestyle that Princeton is known for. Chestnut Street has been the home to a firehouse from the early 1800s to present day. to consider removing this property from the town rolls in an effort to acquire quick funds to address renovations at Station 60 could result in major regrets. Once the Chester Street Firehouse is gone, it will be impossible to duplicate a location like this in the center of town without a high cost to the community and the municipality of Princeton. I thank you.
Thanks, Willie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Anyone else in the room have a comment for something not on the agenda? Anybody on Zoom have a comment for?
I did provide copies for everybody, too.
Yep, we all got them.
Adam?
Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Anybody on Zoom with a comment for item not on the agenda? All right, seeing no other hands raised, I'll close that part of the meeting. Now we're going to public hearings, ordinance public hearings. Ordinance 2024-39, an ordinance by the municipality of Princeton regarding outdoor dining areas on sidewalks under the jurisdiction of the County of Mercer and/or State of New Jersey, and amending Chapter 29 of the Code of the Borough of Princeton, New Jersey, 1974, entitled Outdoor Dining. Does someone want to move that? Michelle's moving that. Is there a second? Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Mia. Sorry, I can't see who I'm looking at. Thank you for the second. Okay. Does somebody want to summarize what this is, and then we'll see if there's questions or comments? Thank you, Jim.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we have an outdoor dining ordinance that provides for or gives provisions for restaurants to have outdoor seating on our sidewalks. We did not have and still do not have jurisdiction over state and county right-of-way. However, we are extremely close to getting that approval for Nassau Street through a New Jersey DOT occupancy permit, and we want to be prepared to be able to issue permits for outdoor dining licenses on Nassau Street as soon as that approval comes in from the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation. This ordinance amendment will remove the restriction that was in the prior amendment that stated that state and county right-of-way were not included in our outdoor dining ordinance. It simply adds it back in when we receive permission.
Thank you very much. Eve.
I'd just like to take a moment to thank Jim, who's here, and our municipal engineer, Deanna Stockton, who is not here because this has been an incredible labor with many, many, many meetings with state DOT, and just my commendations to you and Deanna for your perseverance and such a good outcome. So thank you very much.
Any other? Mia.
I think while we're giving thanks, we have to thank Councilwoman Lambrose, who really was the initiator of all of this outdoor dining and who has shepherded this ordinance through thick and thin, and for whom we will all be grateful when it's summer and we're sitting out dining outdoors.
Yeah, when it's over, and I just was going to echo the same thing. It hasn't been easy to deal with the state regulation that just kind of came out of the clear blue sky. So thank you again to the team, and thanks, Mia. I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other council comments or questions? All right.
Thank you for the game changer in our downtown corridor. Job well done.
Thank you. Anybody in the audience have a comment on this here in the room? All right, seeing no comments in the room. Anybody on Zoom have a comment or question on this? All right, seeing no hands raised, I'll close the public hearing, and this is a roll call vote.
Ms. Perron-Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Ordinance 2024-40, ordinance of the mayor and council of the municipality of Princeton concerning salaries and compensation of certain personnel of the municipality of Princeton. Is there a motion on that? Thank you, Eve. Leticia's got the second. Bernie, do you want to comment on this, or?
Sure, Mayor. We make regular adjustments to this ordinance. In this case, there are some additions to job titles, particularly planning and in zoning. We've made some positions gender neutral in our ordinance, and then we've also eliminated positions that no longer exist, such as clinician. So it really is just kind of some housekeeping and cleaning up as we move into 2025.
Thank you very much. Any council questions or comments?
Did somebody move in? I can't,
Did I not ask for, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, sorry.
Come on, don't do that to me.
Sorry.
Do you have a comment? Sorry.
I did have a comment. I
Okay.
guess I was thinking about my comment and not paying attention. I just wanted to say that, as the mayor's rep to the planning board and working on the code review committee, I just see firsthand every day how hard our zoning official, Derek Bridger, and our planning director, Justin Lesko, are working. So I am really pleased to have introduced the positions of a planning assistant director and a zoning assistant officer. It's sorely needed.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? Mia?
Yeah, I would just like to thank my colleagues on the Personnel Committee, the Chair, Eve Niedergang, and Leticia Fraga for having, for their hard work on fleshing out what these positions should be, and they don't have the front row experience that David and I have in code and on planning and seeing how desperately these are needed, but they have taken my word for it in personnel and have been extraordinarily supportive of the need for these positions, and it's not a moment too soon. So,
Okay. Any other council comments or questions? All right. Anybody in the room have a question, comment? All right. No one in the room. Anyone on Zoom have a question or comment for this? All right. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Perone Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Next up, we have two ordinance introductions. Ordinance 2024-41, an ordinance by the municipality of Princeton, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition of real property designated as Block 37002, Lot 7.02, on the official tax map of the Township of Montgomery, County of Mercer. The public hearing will be December 19th, 2024. Thank you, Eve, for the motion. Layton's got the second. And a roll call vote.
Ms. Perone Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Ordinance 2024-42, ordinance of the municipality of Princeton authorizing a tax exemption and payment in lieu of taxes pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, NJSA 4820-1, concerning Block 3501, lots 25 and 26, and Block 3601, lots 15, 16, and 17, and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with HP 108 Stockton Urban Renewal, LLC. The public hearing will be December 19th, 2024. Thank you, Leticia. Layton's got the second. Roll call vote.
Ms. Perone Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. All right, now we have a set of resolutions. 24349, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding with Mercer County in connection with existing school zone flasher equipment and related signage on Rosedale Road, County Route 604 for the Johnson Park Elementary School. David's got the motion. Mia's got the second. Any questions or comments? No? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, 24-350 was removed, so we go to 24-351, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing a final change order in the amount of, is this a, it's supposed
Minus.
to be? That's a minus,
Yes.
sorry.
This is rare.
Yes, I know, I almost
Lightning strikes
took
occasionally.
my breath away. In the change order in the amount of minus $516,031.17, and authorizing a final payment of $416,768.78, resulting in a final contract amount of $3,958,881.96, and release of performance bond number K404444361 for the improvements to Witherspoon Street, Phase 1, Nassau Street to Green Street, to Earl Asphalt Company in the acceptance of a maintenance bond in the amount of $593,832.29. Mia's got the motion, David's got the second. Questions or comments? How great is it to have done work with Earl, and they actually came back and said, you know what? We bid too much. Okay? I mean, you just got to like say, wow. Okay, sometimes the whole contract thing works. Once every 33 years. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next up, 24-352, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing the award of a bid contract to Earl Asphalt Company for the Cherry Hill Road Shared Use Bike Path bid for $1,584,613.13. David's got the motion, Eve's got the second. Questions or comments?
I'll just say, handeth out with one hand and taketh back with the other.
Well, but who knows what the final number will be? David.
Yeah, I just want to comment, as somebody who used to ride this road, it's a pretty steep hill, and it's really hard for bicyclists to do it in the roadway. So this is a terrific place to have a side path, have a shared side path. I also want to speak a little bit more that is characteristic for me, but the very first babysitter we hired when we moved to Princeton almost 40 years ago lived up on the ridge. And I was driving her home and commenting how gorgeous the neighborhood was. And she said to me, I hate it because it's too far for me to walk into town and the hill's too steep for me to bike, and my parents have to drive me everywhere. So there are actually people who live up there who want to be able to walk and bike into town, and this makes it possible. So thank you.
Thanks, David. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
24-353, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing the award of a bid contract to BlackRock Enterprises LLC for roadway improvements. Terhune Road Improvement Project from North Harrison Street to Grover Avenue for $805,282.15. Mia's got the motion. Layton's got the second. Questions or comments? I know we got state grants for a good portion of this one, right, Jim? I forget.
Almost 3/4, yeah.
Yep. Okay. No questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
24-354, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing the award of a bid contract to We Drive You, Inc. for the operation and maintenance of the Princeton Transit Service in 2025 for an amount not to exceed $377,164. Is there a motion on that? Thank you, Michelle. Layton's got the second. Questions or comments? Eve?
But maybe Michelle is going to address what my question is, so why don't you go
You want me
first,
to go
Michelle?
I was just going to say, so this is, and you know, we have maybe Jim should really fill us in on why we're doing this, but I was going to say we did recently hire Nelson Nygaard, so there'll be further information, there'll be further contracts. We have the buses coming in, the EV buses mid-year, but this is to continue what we have currently. Just so, in case it wasn't clear. Jim, I don't know if you want to elaborate more on that. I just kind of, sorry. I just was filling in that, we have Nelson Nygaard. We're working on further enhancing our transit system throughout the municipality. This is really just continuation of the type of route, the route that we have today. But it's also somewhat flexible if things change down the road. But maybe you want to fill in a little bit better than I did.
Yes, that is correct. We Drive You is willing to work with us to make changes as we need to see them done, and you will be seeing a resolution of accepting an award of $354,000 toward the acquisition of those EV buses at your next meeting.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
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 24-355, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing a final change order in the amount of minus $12,794.12 and authorizing a final payment of $319,120.50, resulting in a final contract amount of $1,534,419.02, and the release of performance bond for the roadway resurfacing 2023 project to Earl Asphalt Company and acceptance of a maintenance bond in the amount of $232,081.97. David's got the motion. Eve's got the second. Questions or comments? David?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I was looking through the packet material and I couldn't find a list of the roadways that were part of this project. Just for the interest of council and the public, Jim, can you talk about which, or some of the roads, some of the highlights of this resurfacing project?
Wow. It's hard to remember last year's because we're doing this year's right now. Ridgeview Road was one of them. Washington Oaks, what is that main road over on, through Washington Oaks was another one. I'll put a list together.
Okay.
One of the things that we do want to do this year is to provide council with a report from engineering of all of the projects that we have completed and what the status is. So I'll add in 2023 resurfacing to that list.
That would be great. Thank you so much. And sorry to spring it on you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 24-356, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton approving transfers in accordance with NJSA 40A 4-58, current fund and affordable housing fund appropriations. Thank you, David. Is there a second? Thank you, Leighton. Questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
24-357, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing payment in installments of delinquent property taxes for Block 10001, Lot 18. Is there a motion on that? David's got the motion, Mia's got the second. Questions or comments? Okay, David?
Yeah, I don't know if, again, I should have asked the question beforehand, but how often do we see this kind of, I don't remember having an installment payment plan in a long time.
I think it's the first one since I've been here. This was a very odd situation that arose where we learned of an arrears by some other means that the taxes were not properly being charged to this resident, and the resident said, well, I can't just pay this. So
okay.
Trying to do the right thing, we've made it installment payments so that the resident could pay off the money over time.
Great.
So that's why, but it is very fact specific in this case.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
24-358, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton calling on state leaders to swiftly enact legislation to permit online news platforms to qualify as legal newspapers for the purpose of publishing legal notices. Mia's got the motion, Michelle's got the second. Questions or comments? Since newspapers are fading quickly, it kind of makes sense that you'd be allowed to use something else. Eve?
I just wanted to ask, Mia, I know that you're kind of in touch on this one, maybe more than I am. Do you have any information on what, no, I don't mean to spring this on you, do you have any information on what might be happening at the state level on this?
I think there's legislation that's been proposed and we're supporting.
Right.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's overdue.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
if we
so
really want
vitally
the public to
important.
know what's happening,
Right.
they need to know what's happening
Right.
in the fora that is
Yeah.
accessible to them. And, especially in the last few weeks, most of a large
Right.
swath
As
of
of February,
the
where-
print newspapers have been, discontinued. So to the point of transparency and letting the public know when meetings are held, and we really need for this to be available online.
And do you think that'll get done this year or highly?
Are you asking me what the possibilities are for the New Jersey State Legislature to move forward on things that we think are important?
I
Eve,
withdraw
I'm
the
going to say no
question.
comment.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next up, 24-360, resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Municipality of Princeton in the County of Mercer, New Jersey, approving a redevelopment agreement with HP 108 Stockton Urban Renewal LLC concerning a redevelopment project undertaken pursuant to the redevelopment plan for Princeton Theological Seminary properties. Leticia had the motion, Leighton had the second. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
24-361, resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Municipality of Princeton in the County of Mercer, New Jersey, approving the application by HP 108 Stockton Urban Renewal LLC, submitted in connection with the redevelopment project undertaken pursuant to the redevelopment plan for Princeton Theological Seminary properties. Is there a motion? Leticia's got the motion, Layton's got the second. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next up is the consent agenda, 3 items. If no one needs one of those discussed, someone can move it. David's moving the consent agenda, Michelle's seconding it. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
David,
I move to adjourn.
is there a second? Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
we're done. Good night, goodbye, thank you.